away. Like, it would be funny to me if he didn't apologize for it, maybe a little bit, but like, if he's going, like, is it really funny if he goes and he acts like an asshole, then he goes and he apologizes and he says he's not sorry? Like, bro, that's some pussy shit. Like, it's not funny. Like, it's funny to laugh at, but it's not funny to laugh with him with it. It's just fucking stupid.
Point, I think, like, it may be safer for you not to use it as much because you can become overexposed.
But the real question is, how has this affected the performance of his music? Well, his latest album released in September 2022, which was titled Baby on Baby 2, sold only 16,000 units in its first week, which is 87% less than Baby on Baby 1, which sold 124,000 units in its first week. The music video for
87% less? That's really, really bad. Holy shit. Nobody buys albums anymore? Well, I mean, they didn't buy albums whenever he brought out his first album, too, to be fair.
One of the songs on his new album titled Boogeyman features 5 different people, one of which being an obviously gay person, and throughout the video everyone is killed besides the gay guy, before DaBaby daps him up at the end, says I ain't got a problem with you, and once again apologizes for the rolling loud comments. The whole thing just feels extremely performative and insincere, with this clear attempt at avoiding controversy only resulting in more controversy. Because alongside his...
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Like, what is it? Like, it's just so weird. Like, do you think he lost it all because of his actions or because he flip-flopped? Well, let's think about that. How many rappers do we know that are openly homophobic? I think I could probably name half a dozen, like right off the rip. And especially if we talk about a lot of the older rappers that are well-liked, have had openly homophobic lyrics, etc. Are any of them canceled because of this? No. Because the people that listen to them, that's the truth, a lot of them agree. He got canceled because he acted like a bitch, he engaged with drama, and he flip-flopped back and forth. That's why he got canceled. That's why people stopped buying his albums. And also, there's an important factor with this as well. Maybe the album sucked. I mean, that could happen too. It was not a good album.
New album's poor release, DaBaby announced that he had to cancel one of his shows after selling only 500 tickets to a venue which seated 14,000.
What's this here? Responds as show was canceled after selling less than 500 tickets. Ooh, that is bad.
One of his shows after selling only 500 tickets to a venue which seated 14,000. Going to a DaBaby concert because I need some alone time and I know no one else will be there. If I put all my followers in a room and sang a little song to them, then I'd have a more successful concert than DaBaby. DaBaby concert was lit. However, to DaBaby's credit, he's taken his setbacks quite humbly, having replied to his lower album sales by stating, "Not bad for the blackballed baby."
Yeah. It's God's fault, it's gay people's fault, it's the people that are blackballing them's fault, it's everybody, it's social media's fault, bro. Like, it's everybody is out to get him. Everybody's out to get him. Like, I'm gonna say, like, I've never really listened to his music, so I can't really make a judgment on whether his music is good or not, but I think that probably is a factor too. Like, if the music or the album, the future follow-up albums aren't as good, then that's a big problem. That's bigger than any of this other controversy shit.
There are a lot of people who we've covered in the past that are clearly deserving of their poor reputations, but you could argue that DaBaby isn't really one of them. He's a hard worker with a library of incredibly well-made music, yet he's been unable to keep his mouth closed on controversial topics, which only compounds when you compromise your integrity and change your personality to suit whatever the audience wants you to be.
And that's really what it is. It's that he goes and he's the dumbest. I kind of want to watch that. I don't know if I'll have time for that, but goddamn. I think let me look it up. Let me look right now, and we'll see how many. DaBaby. Look the guy up. Okay, so I mean 3 million. 1 million. Let's see what people say about this most recent video. We're not going to watch it. We're just going to read the comments. When he takes away from him, he stays consistent, stays on his brand. His attempt at different beat, never changed his style. I think most people are being pretty positive about this. It's like just... like, you've got to just keep your head down and keep making content. Like, that's it. He wasn't canceled or blackballed. His music just sounds the same. He can only make the same song so many times. It's just... he makes good stuff. He'll be fine. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not a fan of the flipping back and forth, and I don't really... This is like a general opinion that I have, and like, I listen to plenty of rap and like music like this too, so I'm not really completely innocent in this. But it's like having this lifestyle and promoting a lifestyle of like violence and disliking gay people and just like in general very self-destructive behavior. Not too good. Yeah, he's definitely a dumbass whenever it comes to PR. Sunny V2 is a little bitch. He needs to be canceled. Really? You think so? Why? What don't you like about him? Let's see. Okay, we'll read this one and then I'll watch the lottery one. Then after that, we have to finish the Kanye West stuff. So that's it. Let's see. Right, real quick. I don't know what any of this shit is. Okay. Let's move on. The music was assigned to a bitch. This is next level cancel culture on God. I don't think so. Like, I really don't think so. I don't think it's necessarily cancel culture. There are some times whenever people listen to what you're saying and they're like, well, I don't like it. It's not a problem if you just go and say, like, listen, I don't like what this guy is saying. That's not an issue. Let me link you guys a video. The Sunny videos are always really good. We can watch the lottery one, but I'll watch the fucking, what's it called? The Genshin one. I'll watch the Genshin one. The only thing I don't like is the idea of a man making content off the downfall of others, but it's not illegal. Yeah, I could... I accidentally interviewed SBF and he hated it. If you don't know who Sam Bankman-Fried is, he is a scammer. Unless you read any mainstream media articles about him, in which case he is a embarrassed philanthropist who wanted to do so much good in the world, it ended up messing him up.
Interviewed Sam Bankman-Fried, and he hated it so much that he left within minutes. In part because he didn't know he would be interviewed by me. He thought he was being interviewed by someone else on Twitter. And I snuck up in the DMs and got on the call and started peppering him with some harder questions. And within minutes of that, suddenly Mr. Open and Honest decided he needed to leave. But I didn't let that stop me because I joined an interview the very next day doing the exact same thing.
Bro, like, CoffeeZilla is stream sniping him. He's unironically stream sniping him. This is the one case where stream sniping is actually a W. Really? This is what's happening. Like, holy fuck.
Pushing him again, and I got some pretty good answers out of it. I think the running theme here is with this whole press tour, he's going with this image of, you know, I'm embarrassed, I made a mistake, but I'm here to be open and honest now. But that's not true, because when you actually hit him with some hard questions, suddenly meetings come up, suddenly he can't talk, suddenly he's just Mr. Ums and Ahs. So I wanted to show both interviews. I think they're very interesting. Yeah. I really wanted to press him on this $8 billion that mysteriously went missing that he...
Was it, wait, 8 billion or million?
I really wanted to press him on this $8 billion that...
Billion, yeah, okay, that's about right. Yeah, no wonder all these websites are writing good articles about him. Of course. That's $1 billion, yeah, so... As I said, you know, I told you guys, if I got into crypto 10 years ago, I would not be a billionaire, I would be in jail, okay? Like, this is... I am very, very glad every time that I see one of these guys get fucking arrested or something like this, or dead, yes, or dead. I saw there was a crypto guy who was, he said he was going to expose the pedo elite, and it was in like the Caribbean islands, and he was like a billionaire from crypto, and then he drowned. Oh man, that was crazy. It was a mysterious death. Yeah, it just happened randomly. That's nuts. Yeah, he committed suicide with sniper round from 100 meters away. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, it's nuts.
That mysteriously went missing that he didn't know about. And I'm sure I'm going to be breaking these down more specifically in the days to come. But for now, I just wanted you to enjoy these unedited conversations with Sam Bankman-Fried that he didn't know we'd be having.
Coffeezilla, the mic is yours, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I just wanted to quickly ask. So there's this big question about this $8 billion that went into some kind of a stub account.
It's just like, so yeah, I wanted to ask about the like the $8 billion. Like, so, I mean, what? So, like, where is it?
If I just want to get some clarification on this, from my understanding, what you're basically claiming is
Kim gets in on all of these. I don't know how he does it. This guy is in with everybody. But he's friends with me. He's friends with Train. He was there on the fucking Drake video whenever the Drake stream with like Ninja and Drake. He's here with this event. He's talking to Elon Musk. This guy is a networking god. I like him.
That back when FTX didn't have banking, you'd use Silvergate to have people to wire money to Alameda Research and then credit them on the FTX side, but you didn't actually account for that money going back to them. So essentially you had like $8 billion come into FTX you didn't have on the books, technically. I mean, can you explain more how that works? Because it seems like such a key part of this whole thing. And so far we've gotten like very vague things about stub accounts. Just try to be as specific as you can on how that actually happened.
Okay. That's a pretty big one. Here we go.
So, and again, some of these are things I'm trying to piece together that I don't have the full answer to, but
he doesn't even know what's going on in his own company. And I think this is a very, very common thing with Sam. You see, Sam cares so much about philanthropy, and he cares so much about donating to lobbying groups and politicians to make the world a better place, that he wasn't paying attention to that $8 billion, and it just got lost. That's what happened.
But I think that part of it was, I believe that there was, correct FTX accounting, in terms of, the audited financials, but that at least I can say that when you sort of pulled up, on a dashboard, what the accounts look like, it would not have, it wouldn't have displayed, those transfers, and it wouldn't have displayed the balances related to those, which meant that it was, that the sort of what you would naively see as the relevant, sort of position size was quite a bit smaller than what the full position size was.
Specifically, you're talking about the fund that went into Alameda that was credited to on the customer side on FTX.
Yeah,
You're saying that basically when you looked at your dashboard, Alameda was using those funds to trade perhaps, but that ultimately you couldn't see that on the Alameda side because there was some kind of an accounting problem where there was a
It's a problem with the website. Yeah, yeah, I mean, you know how it is.
up with where it was credited. Is that the story?
Yeah, it's something roughly like that, or at the very least that the common displays of it did not include that piece of the
His
account.
bank account was blocked.
A real quick second follow-up. So I've talked to a few Alameda insiders, and I've kind of run them by your story of things. I think you probably are aware. I'm pretty skeptical. And one of them, when I told them, could it be that Sam wouldn't know about this? Somebody who worked with you, and they actually, they laughed, and they said, there's no way he's claiming to be stupid now when he was this genius wonder kid. And so my sense of things is, how do you explain this? How do you explain the fact that some of the people who worked with you for years, your employees, have come out and said, there's no way he didn't know about these backdoors. There's no way he didn't know what Caroline was doing when you guys were very close. The offices were right next to each other. I mean, how do you expect us to believe this story you're spinning?
I mean,
Yeah, guys, I gotta go. Oh, fuck. I just checked the time. It's get the fuck out of here o'clock. Guys, I gotta go.
I don't know what to say. Like, I
don't know what to
had a
say.
lot going on, and I was spread thin. I was a bit less grounded than I had been before, and I lost track of a lot of important things. And I mean, I think
So
that
you see, like, the tone change? Because, like, that's probably some sort of, like, media coaching or something like that, where he changes the tone into this, like, apologetic, dismissive feel, right? Like, you see how that switched real quick? Well, it's so easy to see these things whenever you're looking for them. It's PR training. Yeah. He's just going, like, what he's doing now is he's going to just kind of ease into a pre-approved paragraph that he's going to use.
Hang on one second.
But that's not going to happen. Because, see, Coffee, he knows this. Like, I mean, anybody who watches this shit, like, we know how this game is played. Well, we obviously, like, fucking know. Immediately, like, okay, yeah, this is it.
I think spread thin is one thing, right? Like, I think, things can get out of hand. But we're talking about a fundamental understanding of whether Alameda was commingling funds with FTX. I mean, I saw your Stephanopoulos and Sorkin interview, and you're pretty categorical that you had no idea that you were mingling funds. So that's what I'm asking about. Not like, did you know exactly what was happening on November 7th or 8th? I mean, I can understand sort of things getting out of control, but we're talking about the most fundamental grasp on how your business worked. You're telling us you had no idea.
I was not aware of a lot of what was going on. I was vaguely aware.
Speaking of vaguely, I was not aware of a lot of what was going on. You know what that says? Nothing.
That
Absolutely
some of these
nothing.
existed. I didn't know details of them, and I was not spending much time and on looking at position risk management. It was a big mistake.
I mean, you're right.
Right, Sam. I've just got guys. I've just got a DM. Sam has to leave. So guys, Sam has to leave.
Oh, Sam should have told the guy who was interviewing him that Sam didn't have to leave. Oh my God, you gave him the DM. Oh, Sam, what a huge tactical mistake, because this implies that you wanted the interview to end. Oh my God, you should have told him to say that. Oh, you idiot.
Mark.
Next thing I noticed, Sam's in another Twitter AMA space.
I have a couple questions. Read the margin accounts. I mean,
Bro, he's actually getting stream sniped. Unironically. He's showing up randomly into like, oh, here I am again. All right, let's pick up right where we left off.
there's sort of all this talk about the terms of service. Did you break terms of service?
Yeah.
Did you not? You're basically claiming that there was this separate side of your terms of service which said that if people had margin accounts, you could use kind of their funds, or there was looser language around that. Mm-hmm. But I talked to somebody from Alameda and asked how big the position of or how many people had assets in the type of accounts that terms of service would apply to versus the regular terms of service, which said you couldn't use their money. And they said it was about $1 billion that was in the margin trading, or the margin side of things, where you could reuse their funds or whatever. Yeah. And there was, the rest of it was not there. So does that mean the rest?
So what he was using, he had some people that had this plausible deniability, and he used them as a shield to make people believe that everybody was in that same type of agreement.
So the money was stolen? I mean, it seems like you're putting all your eggs behind this one excuse about, there was this separate side of the terms of service. How do you address everyone else?
So I don't have all the data correctly. My memory is that it was substantially more than $1 billion.
I don't know. I think it was more I forgot. I don't remember how many, but 3, 5, 10 billion. I mean, it doesn't. It is what it is.
The margin trading program. But I don't have that data in front of me right now, so I can't verify that. On top of that, there were other effects as well. And I don't have the data about all the details of those in front of me, but my understanding is that some of those were early wire transfers sent directly to Alameda, which I think contributed to the position as well. And then there are open futures positions on top of that, on top of the spot margin position, where there can be effectively socialized losses clawback if one is unable to close in time. And so I think it was a combination of those factors. There may have been other factors too, but
There may have been other factors too. See, this guy does exactly what I do. Whenever he makes a statement, he always adds a qualifying statement that follows it that will make him immune for actually following through with the original statement. You'll notice this if you listen to me talk. There is almost never a time that I say I will do something and there's a period after that. Almost never.
What I've been, able to piece together, and that, putting those together, I think is likely how you got to most of this, but again,
here's the thing: how do you account for maybe the difference in what people are hearing from insiders who are not being accused of fraud and you who sort of is? There's a very different sort of story going on here where you're saying like, oh, there's this big position that we didn't know about, because you told me that the last time we spoke in a space, and I went and followed up and I said, hey, is this true? Could it be that this number just wasn't known about? And some Alameda insider said, no way. You could see on dashboards really simply where it was. And FTX dashboards, not Alameda dashboards, dashboards that you yourself had access to. So my question is sort of like, it seems like when I go to Alameda insiders or FTX insiders, they're saying this story makes no sense. But when I go to you, who sort of has every incentive to sort of lie and obfuscate, because obviously
I think he's going to have to go pretty soon here. I feel like there's a meeting that probably just came up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got to go.
Here is, well, otherwise you might go to jail, which obviously would be a very bad thing for you.
Yeah.
It seems like all of a sudden all the excuses come out, and then when we follow up on them, they don't seem to be true. So I don't know, like, help me square this.
I love how he says it. He's like, so it seems like, whenever it comes to you admitting that you should do something that would put you in jail, or that you did something that could put you in jail, so like now all the excuses come up, but then whenever we look into the excuses, it turns out they're not true. So like, could you provide some clarification on why you're lying? Yeah, this is so
good.
Because,
it'd be nice if you were telling the truth, but everything we're hearing from insiders is that you're not.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm saying what I believe. I don't know which insiders you're talking about. I don't know exactly what they said. It doesn't line up with my beliefs. But I can't...
He's using belief because it's a softer word than truth, and it's harder to hold that against him because it's subjective.
Speak to what they think or what they said.
But why are multiple people within your company at less senior roles knowing more about the company than you?
Yeah.
And Alameda was not a company that was running at the time, but I hear you. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what you're referring to. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know what they said. I don't...
Well, I'm telling you some of what they said.
He doesn't know anything. Like, I mean, did this guy even work there? I don't know if he even did. Maybe we got the wrong guy. Maybe it's the wrong person.
For example, one of them was that there was like that backdoor system or whatever. A, that you knew it existed, and B, that it was easy to see the balance or the position of Alameda very simply on FTX dashboards. Because they had a margin trading account with you guys, so you guys could have seen it.
But
you guys could see the margin positions of everybody, no?
But a lot of the position did not appear in that main account.
So you could see it, but it didn't appear. Now, why didn't it appear? I mean, like, bro, like, you know how it is, right? Yeah, I mean...
So where was the position?
It was in a separate stub account, I believe, related to wire transfers. that had been sent, to Alameda Research, generally primarily to FTX, having its own bank accounts.
So who controlled the secret stub account? Did anyone at Alameda know about this secret stub account? I mean, are we supposed to believe that just like there was this stub account that nobody knew about?
I don't know who knew about what when. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I don't know about who knew about what when. Okay, all right, that explains a lot.
Clearly, somebody lost the money, right? Like, obviously, the money went somewhere. Somebody lost it. It just seems really convenient that $8 billion was located in this, like, account that didn't show up when you pulled up Alameda's balances, right?
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so a separate question is obviously around this Forbes thing, because you've said you don't have present knowledge of sort of like Alameda's balances, and they came out and said that you were giving them up-to-date balances from Alameda. How do you square that? Just as of a month ago, you knew Alameda's position. How does that square with your statement about like you don't know what's going on?
I haven't seen the thing that you're referring to, but I was able to give very rough approximations that included a subset of the list of assets that Alameda had. By asking about the assets I believe to be the largest sets of them, I was not giving full accountings.
Why?
Of all of Alameda's balances or positions, because I didn't generally have those, and because it was a complicated process dependent on liquidity of tokens and things like that.
This is
from
super
the Forbes
sus,
perspective. Yeah. So I was just sending them a sort of abbreviated partial list of Alameda assets periodically.
But that means you knew that what Alameda had. Even roughly, you knew what Alameda had.
I had a rough sense of what their assets were. That is correct. By rough.
So he did know one thing, but it was a rough sense. And so, like, what does rough mean? It means that if you ask him about a number, he doesn't know it. Obviously.
Within, $10 billion or so. I did not have a fine-grained sense of what their total asset value was, and I did not have a fine-grained sense of their liabilities or of their margin position size or how that was split up.
I guess one of my questions is, like, what do you think should be done if we find out that you're lying about all of this? Like, sort of, because it's kind
That's a great question. Wow.
Kind of one thing to steal people's money. It's another thing to lie about it. What do you think should be done? Like, because, I mean, it's going to be, obviously, a lot of this is going to eventually get litigated. Eventually Caroline Ellison's going to have to take a stand. What happens if she pulls out text messages that shows you knew about it? I mean, do you think that wipes away your credibility?
I mean, I think a lot of my credibility has already been wiped away, frankly. And
well, he's right about something.
Honestly, that's not what I'm thinking about right now. I'm not trying to focus on, I'm just thinking about, like, customers here who I think are what matter.
So you're saying that...
That was probably the worst answer that I've ever heard. That is impressively fucking bad. Wow. I was just thinking about customers, which is what really matters. Yeah, what a surprise.
For them to get money back, or for us to get our money back?
I don't want to speak out of turn, and I can't make promises on behalf of the company.
So we're gonna get our money back. He's like, I can't speak out of turn. I can't make promises. But like, yeah, the customer is what's most important. So are we gonna get our money? Well, I mean, listen, the customer is what's most important.
On behalf of the company, and I don't know what decisions everyone's gonna make. I do know that FTX US, to my knowledge, is totally solvent and could, I think, return everyone's money tomorrow if it wanted to. And I think internationally, there are a lot of pathways, potentially forward there that one could imagine FTX International taking. I think, I know that as of before I filed, there were billions of dollars of like serious funding offers potentially on the table, and you know, I would expect and hope that those are being deeply.
Who were those
explored.
funding offers?
I don't know that I have authority to.
Well, you said you had $4
didn't exist.
billion like
Yep.
that came in, right?
Yep.
Does that still exist? Was that ever real?
Was that ever real?
I think it. I mean, I think it. I don't know for sure, but I think that some of those might. My guess is that some of them might. That and you know, I hope that the sort of relevant teams are doing whatever they can to maximize value for customers here.
There it is, right there. Okay, so he stumbled around, but he finally found out. All right, let's use that phrase again. Let's, you know, the customer team's gonna do their best for. Bro, that is. Oh my God, this dude is fucked. What happened? Yeah, look at this. How's this kid get so much money? He doesn't even seem bright. A lot of people. Well, I mean, bro, if you were getting interviewed and you know that it's not a matter of if, but when you go to jail for a very, very long period of time, you're going to be really stressed out. So it's like, I understand that he's not very good at talking, etc. I'm not surprised about this at all, because here's the thing. Cryptocurrency sells people on such a great idea. It's that they're smarter than everybody else and they're going to make a bunch of money doing nothing. This is the same reason why you go through the supermarket and you check out and there's a bunch of pictures of Dr. Oz smiling like this. And it says, lose 40 pounds in 3 weeks by eating cupcakes and doing nothing. And then there's like a bunch of other people that are like, oh, wow, really? That's great.